Hey guys, welcome back to Homework Help for Year 6, Term 1, Week 2. So on page 6 we have the homework. Now this homework is similar to last week's homework in Week 1. All I did was just change the numbers around and we still have to use the same technique. And apparently I've forgotten where the answers in all of them. So yes, silly me, all the answers are here, but let me explain how each of these questions work. If you stick around, you understand how to do the questions. Otherwise, there's just the answers are there as well, so try not to take too much advantage of the situation. Alright, next one. So let's look at the first one. It says find the average mark. So all you gotta do is look at this table and see what's happening. What's happening in this table? So let me just start drawing. Okay, here we go. So according to this table, 9 people got 3 marks. So imagine you have 3, 9 times. Okay. So each of these is one person's mark. So maybe the first. So let's look at the next one. 2 people got 4. Imagine we got Bob got 4 and Tina got 4. And let's see, one person got 5 marks. So imagine Joe got 5. And 6 people got 6 marks. So Jim got 6, Kelly got 6, Timmy got 6, James got 6, Sarah got 6, and Bob got 6, or maybe someone else. But as you can see, each number represents one person's mark. So I'm not going to bother with names anymore. I'll just get to the point. So now you got 7 people who got 7 marks. To find the average mark, we have to add all this up to find the sum. So we add them all up, that'll be 125 divided by how many people there are. Always count. There's 1 person, 2 person, 3, 4, all the way here, and you see there's 25 people. 125 divided by 25 is 5. The average mark is 5. Done. Question 2. 5 times the square root of 36 is increased by the quotient of 24 and 3. So 5 times, so we do 5 times the square root of 36 looks like this. And what do we do next? It says this is increased, so it means plus by, increased by the quotient of 24 and 3. So 24 divided by 3, because quotients mean divide. Okay, and you can work it out and the answer will be 38. You do BODMAS. So it'll be 5 times the square root of 36 will just be 6, plus with 24 divided by 3 is 8. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 8 is 38. Done. Question 3. The difference between 39 and 11. So difference between this will be 39 take away 11. Is divided by, so this is being divided by the sum means add, so the sum of 2 squared, so that's 2 squared like that, and 3. 2 squared plus 3. So this will we work in the brackets first, so it'll be 28 divided by, this one will be 2 squared, which is 4. 4 plus 3, that makes 7, so this thing will be 7. 28 divided by 7, and the answer obviously is 4. Okay, let's turn to the next page. We're gonna fly through these questions, and again I forgot to rub these out, so the answer is just sitting right there for you to copy. But don't worry, this will only happen this week. Next week you won't be so lucky. Alright, so let's have a look at this one. If we haven't done this one in class, I'll show you how to do it. 0.4 would be, let's turn it on to fractions. Oh, there's a bug. Okay, it's gone. Alright, so 0.4 would be 2 over, no, let's not make it that. Let's make it 4 out of 10. Plus 2.5 minus 0.9, I gotta change it to a fraction as well, so that'll be 9 out of 10, and then times 1 over 3. So let's do BODMAS. We gotta do multiply first. So as you multiply, you'll notice that we can simplify. So what I mean by that is I can look at the 9 and the 3, I can divide them both by 3. 3 divided by 3 makes 1, 9 divided by 3 makes 3. So now what you have is 3 over 10 times 1 over 1. And that turns into 3 over 10. Alright. So now we have, well, let's add this up now. So actually, let's have a look at, we got 4 and 10. Whoops. 4. Let's make this rubber a bit bigger. Whoa, that's too big. Let's go back to my recent. Yep. Okay. Alright, so 4 and 10 is plus with 2.5 and then minus 3 on 10. Okay, so now when you have this, we have plus and minus, so we'll do left to right first. This has to be done first. This will be 4 on 10. Now I need to change this one into improper fraction, so that will be 5 on 2, and then minus 3 on 10. For those who don't know how to do improper fraction, it'll be 2 times 2, so the big number times the bottom number, that's 4. 4 plus the 1, that makes 5. And they'll be over the same denominator too, so it'll be 5 on 2. Okay, that's where 5 on 2 comes from. Now we have to make all of this the same denominator. This will be 4 on 10. Plus with, we times this by 2, sorry, not by 2, by 5. Times this one by 5, you get 25 on 10 minus 3 on 10. Now again, we got to do BODMAS, left to right, left first, so that's 4 on 10 plus 25 on 10, that makes 29 on 10. And then take away 3 on 10, and they'll give us 26 on 10. There's your answer. 26 on 10, you can change it back to mixed numerals if you like, and that's going to be how many 10s go into 26? That's 2, remainder 6, and over 10. Now 6 and 10 can be simplified, so that means the answer is 2 and 3 on 5. And there's your answer. Alright, next one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to change all of this into fractions. So first you have 5 on 8 times 3.2. 3.2 is same as 3 and 1/5, because 0.2 is equal to 1/5. Okay, so 3 and 1/5. So that's 3 and 1/5 there. Take away 1 on 12 divided by 1.5. Now this one is, we keep as 5 on 8. We times, now we can't times this normally, right? So what you gotta do is you gotta, oh, by the way, before I say anything, let's do BODMAS. So we gotta do times first and then divide first, and then we do the minus. So let's do the times first. Now when you times, you can't times 5 on 8 with a mixed numeral. You gotta change it to improper fraction first. So this would be 16 on 5. So let's work this one out first. Okay, so 5 here, we can divide them both by 5. We get 1 and 1. 8 and 6, I can divide it by 8, and divided by 16 by 8, I get 2. So the answer is 2 on 1, which is just 2. Okay, so this whole thing turns into a 2. And now we got to do this thing. Let's work it out. So you got a half divided by 1.5, that's 3 on 2 as a fraction. Now let's work that out. It'll be a half times it by, oh sorry, 1 on 12 times it by 2 on 3, because we're doing division, so we flip this one upside down, we get this, and let's multiply. So now I can simplify the 2 and the 12. I can divide by 2 each, I get 1. 12 divided by 2 gets 6. So now I got 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 6 is 18. So now you have, so this, all of this turns into a 2. All of this turns into a 1 on 18. And what's happening between them is a minus, so we just do minus. So 2 minus 1 on 18, that gives me 1 and 17 on 18, and that's the answer. Done. Okay, next one. You have, let's look at this one. You're dividing by 5, and then you times it by 5, so those cancels out. Divided by 6, times it by 6, that cancels out. Divided by 7, times it by 7, that cancels out. So all you have left is 1 divided by 7. And obviously that's equal to 1 over 7. Next one, this 5 times 5 times 5 gives me 125. 8 times 125 gives me 1,000. So the answer is, the 1 stays on top, the bottom is 125,000. Done. Okay, this one adds up to 45. So you got 45 times it by 1 over this thing adds up to 15. So 45 on 1, the reason it's on 1 is because 45 is a whole number. Any whole number as a fraction, written as a fraction, is always over 1. So now we got 45 over 1 times it by 15, so that's 45. And this bottom one will be 15, and then we say, okay, how many 15s go into 45? So the answer is 3 whole. So the answer is 3. Alright, this one is, we're going to do BODMAS. So you got times and plus, they do all the times first. That's why I underline all the times. Okay. Now every single multiplication has a 1 over 90 in it, as you can see there. So all we got to do is we're going to use quick method. We're going to say, okay, 1 over 90 times by all of these add together, because a half plus a third plus a quarter plus a fifth. So we just put that there, a half plus a third plus 1/4 plus 1/5. Alright, so to do this, the fraction part, I'm going to add all these fractions up. So to do this, you have to make all the denominator the same. So the best way to do it is to find the lowest common multiple, or known as the LCM of all these numbers, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and the answer is 60. We'll put it over 60. Okay, now to make 2 into 60, I must times it by 30. So I must times the top by 30. So that's 30 times 1 is just 30. So it'll be 30 over 60. Plus. Now, to make the 3 into a 60, I must times it by 20. So I must times that by 20, and I get 20 over 60. To make a 4 into a 60, I must times it by 15, which means I times the top by 15. So that's 15 over 60. To make a 5 into 60, I must times it by 12, times it by 12, and then I get 12 on 60. Add them all together, and you're gonna get 77 over 60. And that's, so all of this stuff in the brackets, the fractions, it'll be 77 over 60. But now we have to do the last step, which is times it by 1 on 90. So times that by 1 over 90. Now in this case, we can't simplify anything, so just multiply it across. 77 over 60 times 90. 6 times 9 is 54. And you got 2 zeros here, so we put 2 zeros here. Done and dusted. Okay, moving on to the next page. Alright. Now with this one, we just a bunch of fractions and numbers adding together. Alright, so we try to find the one that helps us, makes it easy. So let's look at this one. You got a half plus another half. That makes a total of 1. You got 1/3 plus a 2/3, that makes another 1. So you got 2 plus 1 plus 1, that makes 4. And then you only have one fraction left. So the answer is 4 and 1 over 20. Done. Because you have 4 plus with the last fraction 1 on 20, and that gives you the answer. Now, which of the following quadrilaterals are all the same angles? Okay, so what it means by is have the same, have all the angles that equal. So a square, you got 90, 90, 90, 90. Therefore, square has all of the angles equal. Trapezium, I don't think so. Parallelogram, yeah, nope. This is obtuse angle, this is acute angle, they're not the same. A kite looks like this. This angle is definitely smaller than that angle. Okay, so no. Only the square has all the angles the same. Now the next one is express 54% as a decimal, you get 0.54. Okay, next one is, okay, you got 6 cubed, so you got 6 cubed plus 6 cubed plus 6 cubed, that means 3 times 6 cubed, right? Next one is 3 times 6 squared. Now what you can do is you can divide a number, the top number by you can divide the top number by 3 and divide the bottom number by 3. When you divide by 3, these cancels out. Okay, so we're just simplifying. And then now let's look at this one. So all you have left is 6 cubed over 6 squared. 6 cubed is 6 times 6 times 6. 6 squared is 6 times 6. Which one can we simplify? Well, we can simplify the 6, one from top, one from bottom. One from top, one from bottom. So all you have left is 6. So the answer is equal to 6, which is D. Now the next one says we bought the flour for we bought the flour for $5.30 and the sugar for $2.50 and the eggs for $6.80 and the flavoring and chocolate and so on for $3.85. We made 98 biscuits and sold them for 25 cents each. Okay, the profit we made was how much? Okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to add all these numbers up. 530 plus with what do we got here? 250 plus with $6.80 and $3.85. Add them all up. You got a 5. 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 3 is 19. 19 plus 5 is 24. This will be a dot here. This will be a 7, 9, 15, 18. So the answer is 1845. So the cost of making these, what is it? What do they make? So the biscuits. The cost of making the biscuit was 1845. That's the cost of all the ingredients. Now let's see. We sold the biscuits for we sold 98 of them for 25 cents each. So we times it by that. 25 cents times 98. Let's see how much money we made. Okay, so 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 9 is 45, plus 4 is 49. And then magical 0, 2 times 8 is 16, carry the 1, 2 times 9 is 18, plus 1 is 19. So now we add them up. 0, this will be a 15, this will be a 14, and this will be 2. That means that we sold all the biscuits. After we're selling 98 biscuits, we're going to make a total of $24.50. This is how much we sold all of, and how much money we get for selling all the biscuits. Now if you want to find the profit, all you got to do is see how much money you made from selling the biscuits, subtract the cost of everything, so 18.45, subtract it, see how much profit you made. Okay, so this will be 5, this will be a 5, so this will be a 0. 14 take away 8 will be a 6, this will be a 2, so $6.05. And as you can see, the answer is right there, it's B. Okay, ship is sailing this direction. Let me see, we got, it even draws it for you actually. Anyway, this is north, east, south, and west. So it says it was going, a ship is sailing on a bearing of southeast. So it was going in this direction here, southeast. Okay, because it's between south and east. Now it changes and it goes into northeast. It says what angle did it turn? Well, it turned. Now remember that each of these angles is 90 degrees. Okay, from north to west, from west to south, and so on. Okay, so if you go this now southeast is halfway between south and east. So that means halfway between that is 45 degrees. That's another 45 degrees. That's another 45 degrees, and that's another 45 degrees. Okay. 45 degrees is half of 90. So to go from southeast to northeast, we're going to go 45 plus another 45. We went 90 degrees. We made a total of 90 degrees turn counterclockwise. Next page. Alright, so let's look at the question 6. A chemist knows that 1 milliliter of substance weighs 6 grams. What would 1 liter of substance weigh? So where's my... Oops. Okay. So let's make it red. So 1 milliliter of something is equal to 6 grams. So 1 liter of the something. Now to go from 1 milliliter to 1 liter, we go times it by 1,000 because there's 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. So how many? So what we do here, we times it by 1,000 as well. So see how much it weighs. So this will be 6,000 grams, which is 6 kilograms, and the answer is C. Question 7 says 4 students were each given a block of ice. They had to measure and record the weights every 10 minutes as their block melted. Which result are the only ones which could have been recorded correctly? So as you can understand that a block of ice, when it melts, it gets lighter and lighter until there's nothing left. It turns into water, and water flows away, so the mass, the weight of the block of ice gets smaller and smaller. So let's look at this one. Let's look at this 6.9. So then it goes to 6.02. That makes sense. It's getting lighter, right? Then it jumps back up again. So that's not possible. A block of ice, as it melts, it can only get lighter and lighter. It can't get lighter and then heavier all of a sudden. So the way we do this is we look at all the answers and see which one is only going down. Let's look at B. 7.3 goes down to 7.03, but then it goes back up again. So that can't be it. This one, 5.23, and then it went up straight away. So this is not right either. Anytime it goes up, we discard that information. Only C is the one that goes down all the way. Okay, next one. The rectangle diagram is 16 centimeters long and 6 centimeters wide. The area of the shaded portion. They want the area of the black side. So let's just cut this into 2 pieces. Now, if you look at this rectangle, and what is the black area compared to the whole rectangle? Well, it's a half, isn't it? The black side is only half of the whole rectangle, and on this side, the same thing is happening here. If I cut it here, the black side is a half of the rectangle on the right. So this rectangle here. Okay, so a half. It's always been a half, so that means it's half. The whole thing must be a half. What I mean by the whole thing is that this rectangle here, all of the black pieces must be a half of the entire rectangle of this big rectangle. So let's find the area of the big rectangle. The area is equal to 6 times 16, because there's 6 and here's 16, equal to 96. Now we have to, the black area is equal to 96. We halve it because the black area is half of the whole rectangle. So it's halve it, get 48. Now the next one says all the diagonals of a pentagon are drawn. So let's draw the pentagon. First thing is first. The pentagon has how many sides? Easy, 5 sides. What fraction of the total number of sides and diagonals? So let's count the diagonals first. How many diagonals does it have? Diagonals. So I'm going to draw the diagonals. Here's 1 diagonal. Here's 2. Here's 3. Here's 4. And here's 5. Diagonals equal to 5. Alright. So it says what is the fraction of the total number of sides and diagonal? So sides plus diagonal, that's 5 plus 5. That makes 10. So what fraction of 10 is the number of diagonals? Number of diagonal here is 5. So we're comparing 5 and 10. Okay, so now the word of and is in mathematics is very funny. Of and where's the other one? Is. So what you have to remember is of goes to the bottom of the fraction. So here's the fraction. Of goes here. Is goes to the top of the fraction. Okay, so let's have a look here. What fraction of all of this? Of, so that means 10. 10 is of. Of goes to the bottom. Is the number of diagonal. The number of diagonal is up here, which is 5. So that means 5 on 10, which is a half. And you can see the answer is D. The following fractions are in order from smallest to the largest. Okay. Now, it says one of the fractions is missing. Choose a fraction which can be inserted to complete the most likely pattern. So there's a pattern going on here. We have to find what's his middle number. Okay, as you can see, look at the denominator. They're all different, so let's make them the same. I'm pretty sure I can turn all of these into 20s, right? So this one, we can say it's over 20. To turn a 5 into a 20, I must times it by 4, which means I times the top by 4, that's 8. 8 over 20. This one, I want it over 20 as well. The top is already 29. Now this one, to make a 2 into a 20, must times it by 10, times the top by 10. You can see it's 10 on 20. Whoops. And already you can see a pattern, right? 8 on 20, 9 on 20, 10 on 20. What do you think the next one is? Obviously it's 11 on 20. And if you check the rest of them, it's also going to make sense. Look at this one. I'm going to make it out of 20. To turn a 5 into a 20, times it by 4, times it by 4. And you can see that's going to be 12 on 20. Whoops. So that's that one there. So the middle one has to be 11 on 20. And this one is 13 on 20. Whoops. 20. That's 20. 13 on 20. So obviously the middle one's going to be 11 on 20. Alright, next page. Last one. Now, what would you get if you add the smallest 3-digit number to the largest 4-digit number? So here's the largest 4-digit number, and here's the smallest 3-digit number. You add them together, you get that. Whoops, I think I had it wrong. Hold on. So that'll be 0, that'll be 1. Yes, so it should be 10099. There's your answer. Question 12. Lee always confused adding and subtracting. When the teacher says to add, he subtracts, and when the teacher says to subtract, he adds. When the teacher asked Lee to subtract 144, so the teacher said to him, hey, here's a teacher. What the teacher said. Teacher said to Lee to take a number, we don't know what it is yet, and to subtract 144 from this number. Okay, and Lee wrote down, so this is what Lee did. If teacher says minus, Lee's going to take that number, he's going to add 144. And Lee wrote down 377. Now it says the correct answer must be what? The correct answer is what the teacher asked him to do. So the correct answer should be this one here, this answer here that I'm coloring in, if you can see, right? So first of all, we need to figure out what number we started with. So something plus 144 is 337. So we do subtraction. We take 377. We do take away 144. Find a difference. This will be a 3. This will be a 3. This will be 2. So that means this number is 233. Okay. So what should the correct answer should have been? So 233. If he had done what the teacher told him, which is subtract, what should the answer be? So 233 take away 144, and let's see what we get. We get 9, we get a 5, we get 8. And 2, so 89. So the answer here is 89, and that's why the answer is D. Okay, I'm gonna have to rub some of this stuff out. If you want, you can just pause and go back. So I don't really need this. You can just, yeah. All right, question 13. It takes 6 men 9 days to do the job. How many days would it take for 2 men? Well, 2 men, so 6 men, 9 days. 2 men, well, isn't 2, that's like 1/3 of the men. There's only 1/3 of the men left, right? Which means it's gonna take 3 times longer. If you have 3 times less people, you're gonna take 3 times longer. So 3 times 9 with 27 days. It's gonna take longer. 2 people is gonna take longer than 6 people working together, right? So the answer should be 27. Question 14. The average of 8 numbers is 4. So imagine you have 8 boxes. I always draw these boxes to represent numbers. So here's 8 boxes. Some of them might not look like boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's like I get lazy drawing these boxes. Okay, I draw a little bit better. How about that? Hey? Whoa, what happened there? Okay, one more. So you have 8 boxes. These represents numbers, and it says the average of 8 numbers is 4. So how do we find the average of 8 numbers? Easy. We add all the numbers together, add the 8 numbers, and then we divide it by 8, because that's how you find the average of 8 numbers. And it says the average is 4, so that means the answer for that is 4. Now, before we do anything, we should do the one thing that we always do when we get these kinds of questions, and that is to find a total. What is a total? Well, we just work backwards. We say, okay, the question really is something divided by 8 is 4, right? And that number on top is called the total. It's the total when you add all these 8 numbers together. So what divided by 8 gives you 4? Well, work backwards. Do 4 times 8, that will be 32. And you can see 32 divided by 8, yes, indeed gives you 4. So therefore, let me just rub this stuff out here. So therefore, the total of all these numbers is 32. Okay, now we know that these 8 numbers add to 32. It says if a new number 13 is added, so I'm going to add a new number 13, right? So now I've got 9 numbers. Okay, so I've got 9 numbers. What's the new average? How do you find the average of 9 numbers? Well, you're going to add all the numbers together. So if you add all the numbers together, you're going to have, what is it? You're going to add 32 plus 13. So 32, this is the sum of the 8 numbers. You're going to add one more number, 9, which is 13. This is the sum of all 9 numbers. Now we divide it by how many numbers there are. There are going to be 9 numbers now, okay? Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 9 numbers now, including that 13. So to find the average of these 9 numbers, we add them all up, and then we divide it by 9, and that gives us the new average. Now 32 plus with 13, that gives me 45, and divided by 9, the new average must be 5, and the answer is C. Okay, we're nearly done. Last question. So rub this out. Now, what time will it be? 170 minutes after oh my god, so easy. Alright, let's look at this in terms of hours and minutes. How many hours is 170 minutes? Well, 1 hour is 60 minutes. 2 hours is 120 minutes. 3 hours is this is hours. This is 3 hours would be how many minutes? It will be 180 minutes. Wow, this is 170. That's less than 3 hours. So it must be 2 hours something. Well, 170 is equal to 120 plus another 50, isn't it? So this is 2 hours and 50 minutes. So let's add 2 hours and 50 minutes on top of this. So 312. Let's first add the 2 hours. And that will give us 512. Now let's add the 50 minutes. 50 minutes, this will be 2, this will be a 6, this will be 5. We never have 562. That's gone on to 6 o'clock now, right? Once it goes to 60, it's not gonna be, there's no more than 60. It goes back to 00. So therefore, this will be 602. Okay, so therefore you look at the answer and you can see the answer is C, which is there, all done. Alright, so there is all your answers. This week you're lucky, you have all the answers written you know, all the answers are given to you. Normally I don't give away the answers, but I made a mistake and I accidentally written all the answers on the page, so yes. Okay, well, hope that helps.